Coming up next on CPT, student voices heard. A packed forum comes together against hate.
The opioid crisis hits Massachusetts hard. We'll show you how Curry is taking steps to fight back.
Sexual harassment scandals rock the world of entertainment and politics. What should Curry students know as they enter the workforce?
Curry Primetime starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Curry Primetime Report. I'm Kirby Bryce.
And I'm Chris Arnaudo. Let's get right to the stories making news on campus. Scores of students, faculty, and staff came together on Thursday, November 30th in a forum against hate. The student-sponsored and run forum was a chance to have student voices heard. CPT's Stacy Circasoon reports.
Over the years, Curry College has had many questionable incidents that have happened and affected the Curry College community.
Really like to get something solved with the sexual harassment on campus.
It's not acceptable on college campuses, it's not acceptable outside of college campuses, it's not acceptable anywhere.
Please put yourself in other people's shoes because chances are they have a different view.
Curry College hosts their first ever student-run forum. Students discuss controversial topics such as racism, sexual assault, and the privilege of sport team members. Hashtag Curry Hear Our Voice was one of the many passionate words discussed today during the forum.
Just because we don't look the same, we don't dress the same, we don't act the same, doesn't mean we need to be treated different.
Everyone has their own individual issues and that everyone is affected at some point in their life.
This is not an us versus them situation. This is a that person versus a community.
Students and professors got to voice concerns and ask questions while being able to get the long-awaited answers from faculty and staff.
I appreciate that these students are taking this in your hands.
We think about the safety of our entire community, and so we do always weigh the safety of our community with our belief that people can and should have access to education if they earn the right to it.
We as a community need to continue to come together to make sure that we can find who's responsible.
A big part of my role is to just talk about why the words we use matter.
While there were many things discussed during the forum, we asked several audience members if they had any takeaways from the first ever Curry College Student Forum.
So a tremendous listening experience, and from the listening comes learning and working together moving forward.
I think the students were absolutely right that there needs to be a stronger policy when it comes to these kind of issues.
We need to make sure that hate doesn't have a home here, and the only way to do that is to come together as a community and have Curry actually hear our voice.
Hopefully Curry College will take all the issues discussed today and implement them into policies for the near future.
We are all humans, we're all individuals.
I'm Stacy Circasoon reporting from CC8.
The hate messages found on campus this semester has also led Student Government Association to increase their commitment to promote this year's message of hate has no home, with key members talking to CPT's Michael Lacerte.
SGA has been busier than ever, cracking down on hate crimes that have been all over campus this semester. SGA President Zoe Stouty gives us the inside story.
I want students to feel safe here and like it's their home and that they can express how they want to express and do what they want to do and be who they want to be without having to worry about what other people are going to say.
The biggest contribution that SGA has made was a video that abolishes acts of discrimination, says Vice President Rachel O'Donnell.
I think that video just really makes a statement on how most students feel on this campus. Just because a few of us are doing it doesn't mean it defines Curry.
This is the first time in recent history that SGA has taken such actions against racism and discrimination on campus. And as Zoe said, it's making an impact.
I think that the video that we put out as student government was very important to show other students that we do care about our differences and we do want to celebrate them.
With the rousing success of this semester, Treasurer Peter Newman has high hopes for a spring semester.
Spring semester is always a nice time, a lot of things going on. I think next coming semester will be a great one.
With the results they have yielded now, we can expect great things in the future. For CC8, I'm Michael Sir.
Among the ideas presented at the student forum was having all students take mandatory diversity courses. According to the college, the new Gen Ed curriculum has started with sophomore classes will include such requirements.
Opioid addiction. It can start with a simple prescription to relieve pain from a sports injury. Many Curry students have been impacted by the destructiveness of opioid addiction, either because of family, friends, or even themselves. And Massachusetts officials say that 1,400 people will die this year due to that crisis. That's the equivalent of 2/3 of the entire Curry undergraduate population. CPT's Kelly Pettipaw went to investigate what Curry is doing to prevent this tragedy from reaching our dorms.
1,465. That's the number of opioid-related deaths in Massachusetts in 2016. Erin Simmons, Director of Health Services at Curry College, describes the types of opioids most commonly used.
Opioid, is technically it's any type of drug that comes from the opium plant, and it can be naturally made or it can be synthetic. And then an addiction is anything, is a substance that produces either a physical or emotional dependence on a substance.
While the opioid epidemic is a huge issue in Massachusetts, it also hits close to home here at Curry.
But I definitely believe that there's an issue here as everywhere.
Luckily for Curry College students and faculty, right through these doors is a collection of professionals that are there to help. Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs, Lisa McDonald, says there are services available 24/7 for any students that may be struggling with addiction.
Counseling and health services are the two places you can go on campus that are confidential. Meaning if you want to go there and talk about the issues that you're experiencing and not have them share it with anybody else, that those are confidential resources available to students.
Still, some faculty members say more could be done.
It's a huge issue, and I think more can always be done.
For CC8, I'm Kelly Pettipaw.
Curry has also started to supply Narcan on campus. This medication can help in overdose situations, and we will have more on that in our next edition of CPT. If you suspect a friend or a loved one is suffering from an overdose, call 911, and here on campus, call 2222.
Campus police are investigating a couple of disturbing crimes. Break-ins continue to happen all on campus, as we learned that Rose Hall and 874 house were recently broken into. All break-ins occurred on November 23rd, and hundreds of dollars of items were stolen. Public Safety is working with Milton Police to investigate the incidents, and while they do not have any suspects at this time, they do believe that they are not Curry students. In light of these incidents, the Curry College plans to install 2 additional security cameras before the college closes for winter break. One camera will monitor the exterior of Rose Hall, and the other will monitor the exterior of 874 Brush Hill Road. If you have any information on this, please contact Public Safety at 617-333-2222 or the anonymous tip line at 617-391-5280.
Students in Mayflower have gotten many rude awakenings this year. One freshman who resides in Mayflower has told CPT that the fire alarm has gone off at least 14 times this semester alone. Public Safety told us that fire alarms have gone off due to factors like smoking, vaping, burnt food, dust, or moisture, as well as undetermined cases and unlawful action. Public Safety encourages students to use caution when cooking and not to smoke in the residence halls, as it is a violation of college policy. Hopefully sometime soon, the students of Mayflower will be able to sleep in peace.
In other news, a former Curry hockey player who we featured last semester on Curry All Access program has been deported back to Mexico. Hector Mayul was the standout player last season for Curry hockey, even though he comes from the soccer-rich Mexico. While he planned on transferring this semester to a new university in Pennsylvania, things took a dramatic turn when he was ordered off a flight in Houston on his way to visit his girlfriend in Florida. Mayul believes that he was deported because he was carrying medication for his girlfriend, and the Border Patrol agents didn't believe him. Mayul is trying to get back into the United States to pursue his dream of playing hockey in the NHL. CPT is following his story, and we'll have much more on the next edition.
Stressful days are coming as students finish up projects and get ready to study for exams. So here's a couple of events to take your mind off of things for a while. On Monday, December 11th, Miller Fieldhouse will have dogs of various sizes and breeds helping students with anxiety and to feel more comfortable with finals time. That's from 7 to 8 p.m. Also on the 11th, take part in Curry Finals tradition, the late night breakfast. It starts at 10 p.m. and goes to 11:30 p.m.
Still ahead on Curry Primetime Report, we'll take you into a college right around the block from Curry. Yes, it's that close and you've probably never even heard of it.
And later, we'll take a look at Curry's current basketball season and take a look back on at a successful football run. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Nick Foy. I know all of us get distracted by our phones. My phone has occasionally gotten me into trouble. I've accidentally walked right into someone while texting and driving. This phone is one of the biggest distractions in my life. I like to text everywhere, in my bed, on my couch, secretly in class. I always feel like I have to text everyone to stay connected. While I'm texting, I don't have the best attention span in the world. While I didn't hurt anyone texting and walking, it could have been much worse if I was texting and driving. Imagine how badly I could have hurt myself if I kept my eyes off the road and on my phone. I would end up in the hospital with insane medical bills, along with a car headed to the junkyard. According to distraction.gov, around 3,000 people are killed in car crashes involving distracted drivers annually. Is a text message really worth someone's life? Your friends and family will still love you if you don't reply to their text while driving. If you really have to text, please don't get in a car. Throw those keys away. There's nothing wrong with texting as long as you text responsibly. For more information on texting and driving, please visit distraction.gov.
Welcome back to CPT. It's a college you've probably never heard of, but it's actually the closest college to Curry. The Boston Baptist College is a place that combines faith and learning in a harmonious way. CPT's Kelly Pettypaw reports on this school of higher education.
Tucked away on a quiet side street in Hyde Park, just a mile away from Curry College, lies Boston Baptist College, a small school home to only 140 students.
The mission for the school is to just train us how to be leaders and to how to go out in the world and really make a difference using the Bible as our guide.
Junior Rachel Bowman is very involved in all things around campus.
I'm already in leadership positions in my church and on campus. I'm a small group leader.
Recruitment Director Stephen Lucas says without the help of outside churches, Boston Baptist College wouldn't exist.
The Boston Baptist College was founded by churches, it's sustained by churches, and we continue our relationship with churches.
Vice President Randy Ward says the mission support of the school extends worldwide.
We're helping missionaries throughout the world. We're assisting local churches. We're assisting and helping to educate students from many of those churches in the United States.
Well, Vice President Randy Ward says the students here are involved in the community. Some students think more could be done. Student Government President Sam Melton is one of those students.
Personally, I'm one of the big advocates here that says we need to get more involved with our community. I had a friend, one of my personal mentors, his name was Dan Brown, and he would always say, you're never more like Jesus than when you're serving others. And so for us, that's what we're all about here. We're all about being like Jesus.
While the mission of the college is to help support religious organizations around the world, peace may be hard to come by.
I don't know that there'll ever be peace on earth because of the sinfulness of man.
For CC8, I'm Kelly Pettypaw.
Boston Baptist College is less than 2 miles away from campus. Who knew?
Let the rivalry begin. Speaking of other colleges, it's time for our College Roundup, a collection of stories happening on other campuses in the region and across the country. CPT's Alan Chaco joins us with more. Alan?
Thanks, Chris and Kirby. Here are some of the stories making news on other campuses. The geology department at Boston University has been rocked by sexual abuse allegations towards a member of its faculty. Science magazine first reported that BU professor David Mention had engaged in multiple instances of inappropriate sexual conduct towards female student researchers over a 20-year period during scientific exhibitions in Antarctica. The alleged student victims claim Mention directed abusive language towards them during long, isolated stays on the continent, with one of the women claiming he physically abused her. The Boston Globe has since reported that the Science Committee for the U.S. House of Representatives has opened an investigation on the matter. 11 Berklee College of Music faculty members have been fired over a span of 13 years for sexual misconduct. Over those 13 years, faculty who committed these acts were quietly released and students were expected to keep quiet. The college president, Roger Brown, held a forum on sexual harassment and assault recently that resulted in students fed up with these circumstances to walk out of class and protest on the streets of Boston. In his statements, Berklee's president said Berklee is continuing their investigation and urged students to report any new instances. 14 fraternity brothers at Penn State are facing a number of criminal charges after the death of the 19-year-old pledge at one of their initiation parties. The incident earlier this year involved the death of Tim Piazza, who police say was given the equivalent of 18 drinks in less than 90 minutes. Frat brothers saw that he fell down a flight of stairs, and investigators now say some of the frat brothers tried to delete evidence from a security camera hard drive. The fraternity waited nearly a day before calling the police when Piazza wasn't responding. Now, 14 members of the fraternity must stand trial for this hazing death of Tim Piazza. The University of Notre Dame was one of the first major employers to take advantage of the Trump administration's weakening of Obama's contraceptive mandate, and they faced backlash. The university announced in late October that they would end birth control coverage for their employees after December 31st and for students after August 14th. The university said it objected to the mandate based on Notre Dame's religious beliefs that birth control is wrong. The Trump administration later issued new rules that will let a broad range of employers stop offering contraceptive coverage through their health insurance plans if they had, quote, sincerely held religious or moral objection. Notre Dame's initial response was based on its belief insurers would discontinue providing no-cost contraceptives, then they earned that carriers would maintain the coverage anyway. A University of Hartford student was arrested Saturday, October 28th after campus officials were notified that she had been wiping bodily fluids on and in her roommate's personal belongings for a month and a half. In an Instagram post, Brianna Brochu wrote that she was, quote, spitting in her coconut oil, putting moldy clam dip in her lotions, rubbing used tampons on her backpack, putting her toothbrush places where the sun doesn't shine, and so much more. The 18-year-old was charged with third-degree criminal mischief and second-degree breach of peace, both misdemeanors. However, no hate crime charges have been given yet. Brochu's lawyer told the Hartford Courant she is expected to enter a plea on December 18th. And that's College Roundup. For CPT, I'm Alan Checo. Kirby, Chris, back over to you.
Thanks, Alan.
And back on this campus, some exciting news for construction projects. First, the new CILC building, or the Science and Integrated Learning Commons, is officially under construction. Workers have installed the new fiber lines to the site, and now things will begin to move quickly. This video, which recently aired on CC8, shows some of the interior spaces. New science labs, a 24-hour study area, coffee bar, huge glass windows are just a few things to look forward to. It is set to open in the fall of 2019.
And as we reported in our last edition, radio station WMLN has gotten refurbished. CPT's Stacy Circusoon now brings us inside the newly renovated studios.
NFL star Julian Edelman is getting a different kind of reception these days as a children's book author.
It's a new day for students working at WMLN 91.5 FM here on campus. A $50,000 renovation has transformed the station, according to the director of radio, Professor Alan Frank.
We were able to upgrade just about everything in that studio. It is state-of-the-art. It is absolutely a showplace.
Renovations include a revamped air studio with new audio boards, computer monitors, microphones, and even soundproofing with Curry Purple. First-year student Alexandra Monroy says she's impressed.
It definitely looks better. It's renovated a lot, and I really like how it looks now.
Even the outside has been refurbished with a new roof. Director of Radio Alan Frank says it's all thanks to WMLN and Curry alum Joe Kamikow.
He promised me that someday when he makes it, he's going to give back to the college and the radio station, and he did.
In fact, this is Joe Kamikow's second donation in 14 years, with nearly $200,000 donated to the award-winning station. DJ Robbie McDougall says he's learning on equipment that's as good as he will see later in the professional world.
If I'm using top grade stuff and if the field will have top grade, then I don't know how to use it top grade.
The enhancements now make WMLN among the most advanced college stations in the country. And that should mean more students will make it as tomorrow's successful radio alums. For CC8, I'm Stacy Circusoon reporting.
WMLN can of course be heard on 91.5 on the FM dial or through the WMLN app.
Still ahead on CPT, sports with Tim Smith, including some big awards for members of our fall athletic teams. We'll be right back.
Have you ever hit your head so hard you've seen stars, flashing color, or felt sick or dizzy while playing sports? Well, the odds are you've had a concussion. Over the countless years of sports concussions like those in football have been a major issue. There are over 4 million concussions reported in the U.S. each year that are related to sports. I am here to inform you how to keep yourself safe on the field. If you have ever played football, lacrosse, or soccer, you better make sure you have the right equipment. These helmets are out of date and barely have any padding around them, while these other helmets have new padding and adjustments for size. These helmets are used in every level, from NCAA to professional level. To get more information, please go to www.protectthebrain.org. And remember, your brain is everything.
CPT has learned that Curry College Bookstore will be getting a major renovation during spring break in March. According to the bookstore manager, new flooring and lighting will be added, new graphics on the walls, and more merchandise will be in the mix. They tell us more food and personal items, including the ability to buy in bulk, will be coming soon as well.
Now it's time for CPT Sports.
Tim Smith joins us in the studio with more. Tim?
Thanks, guys. Curry Fall Athletics was full of stars this year, and some have been recognized for their actions on the field. Alex Corvisi, Curry's football starting quarterback, was named CCC Offensive Player of the Year, and he was also being picked for the All-New England team for Division II and III football players. Along with Corvisi was running back Sean Amaru, being named Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Coach Ben Benedini being named CCC Coach of the Year. Speaking of football, men's soccer seniors Christian Mancini, Giancarlo Orsini, and Ben Silva were selected to represent men's soccer at the New England Soccer League All-Star Classic at Brandeis University. Congrats to all of our players and staff for receiving these big awards. And getting back into football for a minute, they just played Framingham State in New England Bowl Series. It was a tough way to end such a great season, as Framingham State took a 48-14 victory over the Colonels. With this loss, they finished the season with an 8-3 record. To say quarterback Alex Corvisi had a good year would be an understatement. He threw for 2,468 yards and 23 touchdowns. He also led the team in rushing touchdowns with 11. Nick Villanueva had 714 yards on 43 receptions, adding 10 touchdowns, and running back Sean Amaru had 5 rushing touchdowns and rushed for 823 yards. CPT's Drew Senator reports on the success of this year's football squad.
In the middle of your screen, he goes right past the block.
Number 42, Steve Grogan, has been an extremely valuable asset to the Curry Colonels football team this year. He's not only a leader as a senior, but as a captain.
Steve's awesome. He did a great job in the offseason. He's a big guy in the weight room, making sure everyone's in there. And he was basically the leader of the defense, and the defense had a phenomenal year.
Grogan leads Curry's defense in tackles this season, 2 of those being sacks. But when asked about his dominance, he says he's just playing his role.
I just play my role. Personally, it doesn't matter what I do, it's matter what the team does. So if I'm doing something right, it means someone else is doing something right.
Even though Steve Grogan was a huge part of the team this year, all 3 captains can agree that the entire senior class was the reason for their success. Captains Ryan Boucher and Alex Corvesi are also among the senior class.
Yeah, I mean, the seniors were awesome. I could go through every guy, you know, going down there and competing every day at practice. It was definitely a great vibe going down there every day knowing that it was going to be a good practice.
I think the senior class has stepped up huge. There's a lot of playmakers and leadership in the senior class, so it directly correlates to our success on the field.
All around the senior class has done well. We have great leaders in the senior class, but not just the senior class, the whole team did well.
Both Steve and his brother Joseph look to graduate this May. Steve hopes to pursue criminal justice, while Joe is interested in management. For CC8, this is Drew Senator reporting.
And now our attention turns to winter and spring sports. On Saturday, December 2nd, your Colonels men's hockey team held their 4th annual teddy bear toss. The toss benefited Christmas in the City. The non-profit organization provides Christmas presents to underprivileged inner-city kids. More than 100 bears were tossed onto the ice after the Colonels scored their first goal. They went on to beat Johnson and Wales 6-3 at the Olney Grid. At this taping, the men's hockey team has a record of 5-4-1. Freshman goaltender Frank Cundiff has 236 saves and allowed 29 goals, giving him a .891 save percentage. Adam Valadeo leads the team with goals with 6. He adds 10 assists, giving him 16 points. Shane Tracy adds 10 assists to go with his 5 goals. The Colonels will host Lake Forest Sunday, December 31st. Puck is scheduled to drop at 1:50. Men's basketball is still struggling with a 1-7 record. The Colonels are led by Jared Thrope, Johnson, who averages 13.7 points per game and 3.3 rebounds. Justin Kelly leads the team in rebounds, averaging 5.3 a game to go with his 6.4 points per game. They will host Maine Maritime Tuesday, January 2nd at 6 p.m. CPT decided to check in with this year's players to hear their thoughts on coming back from last year's losses. CPT's Kelsey Davis reports.
The Curry College basketball team is back on the court, and with a tough recent history, head coach Matt Levangie has a plan.
I expect us to do the little things. I expect us to do the things that we've coached them to do, and I think that goes a long way.
Sophomore Kieran Carroll thinks it may not always be about hard work.
Last year, I feel like everyone was for themselves. This year, it's all about the team.
Team dynamic has been an ongoing challenge for this basketball team. The team has seen numerous players leave, including senior Jordan Gallup.
I didn't really agree with how the team was ran or how some of the players were treated.
The head coach, on the other hand, takes responsibility for the past season chemistry and is ready to move forward.
Team chemistry was our biggest issue last year. It started, as a coach, you definitely start with myself, and I would put myself as, maybe the biggest, issue. I wasn't able to build the culture that we wanted. And the way that we were going to change things is that we were going to change personnel until we got the right mix of kids for us.
We will certainly see if this new team has what it takes to bring Curry College basketball to victory. For CC8, I'm Kelsey Davis, reporting.
Women's basketball is one game over 500 with a 5-4 record. Emily Irwin leads the team in all major categories, averaging 15.8 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, and 7 steals per game. Gina Coote adds 7.2 points per game and 6.7 rebounds per game. On January 4th, they travel to Salve, Virginia for a 5 o'clock game. And that wraps up a busy sports season. For CPT, I'm Tim Smith. Kirby, Chris, back over to you.
Thank you, Tim. And that'll do it for this edition of CPT. On this edition, we say goodbye to the lovely senior Taylor Hayes, who is graduating at the end of this semester.
Taylor, thanks for all your hard work at CCA over the years. And for our viewers, we want to wish you good luck with your final exams and have a safe and healthy new year.
See you later.